Vanakkam. I'm Chennai Singapore Akshita Nandagopal joining you from the beautiful Marina Beach in Chennai. The big story that came in today from the city of Chennai was the IT raid. Days to go for polling day, April 6th, and we saw the IT department targeting M.K. Stalin's son-in-law, Sabrishan. It was his house where he lives, of course, with his wife, Stalin's daughter, Sentamare, in Neelangarai of Chennai, that was raided by the IT department. Not just that, a slew of other locations, all associated with DMK leaders, was raided. And you had also the DMK coming out to cry political vendetta, saying that again the BJP was using central agencies to target the opposition, and that too with days to go for the election. So big political war that's brewing on that front, a story we're tracking on India Today. There's been a lot of talk over the last 20 years of a complete ban on crackers, about what's happening in Shivakasi. The biggest question mark is on the livelihood of workers that you see behind me. What happens to them if there's a complete ban? And I'm here in Shivakasi to explore exactly that. What's happened to the workers here? What is their plight? Keeping in mind the lockdown, coronavirus, the ban during Diwali and the likes. I have with me also the MP from Virudhunagar. We have Mr. Manikyam Tagore with me. I also have the candidate, Mr. Ashokan. First time that you are contesting also, sir. So all the best to you.
Assembly seat, this is the first time, but I have been already as a vice chairman of Shivakasi municipality.
This fireworks is an industry which is without electricity. You can see that there is no electricity here.
Yeah.
There is no any kind of wiring or anything there.
That's part of the norms.
It's their technique and their hard work which needs to be shown and which should be respected.
Mr. Ashokan, you're an industrialist as well. So you perhaps know better than anyone else here in Shivakasi how the industry has suffered.
It was shut down for 45 days completely. Then we started reviving after another 2 months. But still, we had to keep our laborers together because they also have to have food.
I just want to show you around here also quickly. You see that there are sheds put up at a distance, really. These are because of norms that are also put in place, Mr. Ashokan here?
Yeah, definitely. As per the norms, this is a very old factory.
Okay.
The norms is about 30 feet just now. Okay. But now the thing has been again expanded and it is now, they say, 45 feet away. You have to keep the distance.
Yeah, no electricity at all.
No electricity at all. And that is why every raw material is manufactured and only assembling is done here with a chemical.
In each of these sheds, there is different activity, different stages of a cracker that's being made. These are all green crackers. எவ்வளவு வருஷத்துக்கு எத்தனை வருஷத்துக்கு இது பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க இப்போ?
2 வருஷமா தான் பண்றோம். அதனால கொரோனாலலாம் வீட்ல தான் இருந்தோம். கோப்பரிசி தான் காய்ச்சுவோம் நாங்க.
Mr. Manikyam Tagore, are you someone who believes that, green crackers is something that's feasible in Shivakasi, manufacturing only green crackers?
We are ready to play with the rules of Delhi.
Okay.
But our rules, milestone keeps on changing. That's our issue.
People who are there in Delhi or the NGOs in Delhi who's looking at it as a crime industry, they should open their eye and think about the people who are living in this downtrodden without any water. No agriculture work is here. We are mainly depending on this industry like matches and printing and fireworks.
Are we keeping these workers restricted to firecrackers? Is the solution then to move on, to train them, get them other skills?
It's a skill job. They are not people who will die if this industry is closed. But this industry is an industry which is giving a lot of employment, a lot of revenue to India. Why we are killing an talent which is there in locally?
Many governments, particularly who don't have an industry like that of fireworks in their own towns, in their own districts, then going ahead and taking such a call because they have nothing to lose.
It's not the party which I am blaming, which is the mindset which destroys this industry's voice. Here we are having a candidate who is from that industry. Their family has been in this industry for 100 years. Therefore, he knows what are the challenges this industry has faced in the past.
You look at her working here. If you look at her hands, you can see it's full of chemical. And there's a lot of talk about it also being harmful to them.
Before coming into work, they have that little bit grease, like oil we are giving them, so that skin doesn't have direct involvement on the chemicals.
We need to have scientific help. Science and technology can be used to help them to be much safer. Instead, what is happening with this industry is that blanket ban on the industry.
We leave it up to you, the viewer, to decide which way you stand, whether this industry is something that provides livelihoods or is dangerous. With video journalist Shivamurthy, this is Akshita Nandagopal reporting from Shivakasi on India Today. And let's get you a report from Kerala. The beautiful backwaters of Kerala is world-renowned. It attracts tourists from across the world as well. That's why Kerala is also known as God's own country. But what about the inhabitants of this place? What is their plight? What is their issues? Gopi Etan finds out.
Situated in the backwaters of Kollam, Monroe Island is a hidden gem in Kerala. With its unparalleled beauty, the island leaves onlookers enchanted with its serenity. While the island has a population of around 10,000, the remoteness of the area often leads it to being overlooked by politicians.
The Monroe Island, or Monroe Turuthu as it's called in Malayalam, is a small patch of land entangled between the Ashtamudi backwaters and the Shastangota Lake in Kollam district of Kerala. During this election season, we are in Monroe Turuthu to find out the way the people here are living. Let's find out.
Monroe had recently been discovered as a popular tourist spot. Thanks to the backwaters, the canal rides, and the mangroves. Monroe Island, however, is now on the verge of extinction. Over the past 6 months, fluctuating tides have continuously affected the lives of the residents. With water even entering their houses, people here have no other option but to make the best of this dire situation.
ഒരു 2 ദിവസം കൊണ്ടേ ഉള്ളൂ പെരക്കകത്തോട്ട് വലുതായിട്ട് കയറത്തില്ല. ബാക്കി എല്ലാ ദിവസവും ഫുള്ള് പെരക്കകത്ത് വെള്ളം കയറും. കയറിയിട്ട് ഇപ്പോൾ വെളുപ്പിനെ 2 മണിക്കൊക്കെ ആയിരിക്കും വെള്ളം കയറുന്നത്. ഒരു നേരം വെളുത്തൊക്കെ വരുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് തിരിച്ചിറങ്ങും. വീണ്ടും ഉച്ച കഴിയുമ്പോൾ വീണ്ടും കയറുക. ഇത് തന്നെ അവസ്ഥ.
According to 48-year-old Biju, the government had provided some assistance, like funds for housing. But how does one build a home when water keeps coming in? Biju feels the politicians are of no help. They come soliciting votes, but never provide any tangible solution.
ഇലക്ഷൻ അടുപ്പിച്ച് രാഷ്ട്രീയ പാർട്ടിക്കാരും MLA മെമ്പർമാരും എല്ലാം വന്ന് നമ്മളെ കാണുകയും ഇവിടുത്തെ കാര്യങ്ങളെല്ലാം അറിയുകയും ചെയ്യാവുന്നതാണ്. അവർ വോട്ടിൻ്റെ സമയമാകുമ്പം വരും, വോട്ട് ചോദിക്കും, പോകും. ഇലക്ഷൻ കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ പിന്നെ തിരിഞ്ഞു നോക്കത്തില്ല ആരും.
60-year-old Padmavati Amma has also been living on the island for over 4 decades now. Her house is almost on the verge of collapse. Padmavati Amma has been seeking help from local politicians, but as yet, no action has been taken.
നമ്മൾ പറയുന്നത് ഇവിടെ ഞാൻ ഇന്നാൾ വന്നപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇവിടെ സൈഡ് വാളില്ല, ഞാൻ ഒറ്റയ്ക്കേ ഉള്ളൂ, എന്നെ കൊണ്ടൊരു നിവൃത്തിയില്ല, സൈഡ് വാളൊന്ന് കെട്ടാമെങ്കിൽ ഒത്തിരിയും വെള്ളം തടയും എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞ് അവരെ ഏറ്റിട്ടു. അവരിപ്പം പറയും ഇതിൻ്റെ ഒന്നും ഇപ്പോഴില്ല.
People of Monroe want help from the government. They want the sitting MLA, who has been representing the constituency for over 20 years now, to do something about it.
ഗവൺമെൻറ്റിൻ്റേതായ പ്രോത്സാഹനങ്ങളോ ആനുകൂല്യങ്ങളോ ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ പോലും ടൂറിസം ഇന്ന് മൺറോ തുരുത്ത് അതിവ്യാപകമായി വന്നു. യഥാർത്ഥത്തിൽ സമ്പത്ത് ഇങ്ങോട്ട് വന്ന് കയറിയാണ്.
Many residents of Monroe Island have turned pessimistic about their future. They are saying that it won't be long before the island gets wiped off the map, sunk by the same water that had once been the reason for its famed beauty.
And with that report, I'm slipping into a short break here on the special broadcast. Coming up on the other side, we'll be getting you a report from the Munnar tea plantations. Do stay with us. Welcome back. I am joining you from Chennai, but I've been getting you also constant reports from Gopi Etan in Kerala. What is the plight of tea plantations in Munnar? It's a huge tourist attraction again in Kerala, but the tea plantation workers are saying they have no place to call their own. Here's that report.
Often called Kashmir of the South, Munnar, before the pandemic, used to attract lakhs of tourists every year. Its scenic, lush green hills, covered with tea plantations, provide livelihood for 16,000 people, and that's out of a total population of 60,000. The plantation workers were settled here in the 19th century when tea began to be grown in Munnar. Now these tea workers form a sizable vote bank. But 90% of them do not have a home that they can call their own.
This once used to be a home of a family which had 7 to 10 members. All they could afford was the luxury of having this area as their bedroom, dining and living space. However, even these luxuries remain only until a member of their family works in the tea plantation. Once they retire, they will be forced to move out of these houses with hardly any other options left.
But why have so many chosen to follow in the footsteps of their ancestors? According to the plantation policy, the workers and their families can live in the small huts, in the lines provided by the company for as long as they are in the service. Once a worker retires, the house is returned to the company. The only option to retain the house is to let another younger member of the family to start work on the plantation. So 57-year-old Kani did just that. When her husband and son died, she had her daughter-in-law start work in the plantation because that was the only way that they could stay on in the house.
இப்போ வேலை செஞ்சிருக்கேன், எனக்கு முடியல, கண் பார்வையும் இல்லை. கம்பெனி ஒரு ஆக்ஷன் அது எடுக்கல. 10 தடவை கீழே விழுந்தாலும் கம்பெனியும் ஆக்ஷன் எடுக்கிறதுல, ஆஸ்பத்திரி ஒன்றுமே எங்களுக்கு சௌகரியம் கிடையாது. அதே மாதிரி நாங்கள் ரிட்டையர்டு முடித்து சர்வீஸ் முடித்து போனால் வீட்டுக்கு பதிலுக்கு எங்கள் பிள்ளைங்க படிக்க வசதி இல்லாமல் அதுகளை படிக்க வைக்க முடியாமல் வீட்டு வசதிக்காக அதுகளையும் எங்கள் கூடயே நாங்கள் பதிவு.
Even after years of working and voting in Kerala, Kani has not been able to own a house of her own. And there are many like her who have a similar tale to tell. Ravi says leaders come seeking votes, but they never listen to the plantation workers' demand for a permanent residence in Kerala.
பரம்பரையாக நாங்கள் கேட்குறது இந்த மாதிரி ஓட்டு போடுறதுக்கு ரோடு வசதி இல்லை, இந்த மாதிரி ஸ்கூல் வசதி கிடையாது, வண்டி வசதி கிடையாது. அங்கே ஓட்டு போடுறவங்ககிட்டலாம் வந்து கேட்போம். நாங்கள் ஓட்டு போட்டு போவாங்க, போயிட்டு இந்த வசதியை நாங்கள் செஞ்சு கொடுக்கணும்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, ஆனால் செய்ய மாட்டாங்க. இது மாதிரி செய்ய மாட்டாங்க, அதான் ஒன்றும் செய்ய மாட்டாங்க.
This is the peculiar story of the tea plantation workers in Munnar. For them, they do not belong either to Kerala or Tamil Nadu. But the politicians and candidates need their vote during the elections. What remains are that these people are left without a home or a place of their existence year after year, generations after generations. With camera presenting Kurat Shekharan, Gopi Krishnan Munnar for India Today.
It's a wrap on this special broadcast. It's a wrap on this series. It's been my absolute pleasure to travel across Tamil Nadu and get you all the reports that I have. It's been a great experience. For one last time, this is Chennai Singapene, Akshita Nandagopal signing off.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.